How do? It's Cherry from Rochdale. We're going to do a little chair-based routine. This is meant for people who have done it with us at the studio, but I am going to run through your basics. I'm using a yoga block because I've got really short legs, but if you've got a pillow or something that you can put your feet up on, please do so. I am also using a band. You can do the exercises without the band, but it's not as effective. If you haven't got a band, we at the Pilates studio can get you one. So if you email us at info@thepilatesstudio or marple.co.uk or phone us on 01457 858 555 and we will either drop you one off or put it into the post. If you do have a band, every time you use it you need to check it for nicks or tears. I've done this one already. You're going to take the band at the back of your chair and I want you to walk your bottom into the first third. When we're using the band troops, if you happen to hear a snapping sound, you immediately close your eyes, you never look directly at the band. I have to say that like being an air stewardess, but why would you keep your eyes open if there was a loud snapping sound? Anyway, there you go. So our bottom is in the first third of the chair. So Barbara, don't forget, I'm always nagging you, come to that first third. Your arms are relaxed. So now just sitting here in good posture, your back's working. So if you just have a rest here with your upper body, and I'd like you to bring your feet just half an inch closer to you and lift one heel at a time. So ladies and gents, hi Bill, I hope you're doing this with me. If you're doing this exercise, Jan, are you? If you're doing this exercise with me, I'm going to just chat about where you are. You'll notice that I'm using two chairs. You don't need one, but it's for me to be able to show you what I'm doing sideways on, because if I'm stood behind the chair you wouldn't see me, especially with me being so sylph-like. I am also saying that your chair should be non-slip, so make sure it's not a chair that's going to slip or fold up on itself. These chairs don't need a pillow, but do your chairs need a pillow? And I've got socks on because I'm on a wooden floor that have got sticky bits, so I'm not going to slip. So you make sure your surface area is clear, you're not going to trip over anything, and make sure that nothing's going to slip. Last one on your right, please. Last one on your left. Okay, hands on your thighs. Just reach down to your knees. Now draw your belly button in. Whoa, that feels good. And just draw the belly towards the back of the chair. Look at your knees. Have a rest here. And then straighten up. Ladies and gents, you do that whenever you need to, and especially if your back's not great. A lot of you in my chair-based classes have to keep resting. You go into that little rounded position, you rest. Remember, you're trying to round from the lower back, you rest anytime. Come back to centre. Could you let your right arm float, please? And bring it back down. Let your left arm float. And bring it back down. So you continue to do this in your own time. Watch that your shoulder is away from your ear. So Beatrice, I'm always nagging you on that. So you're trying to keep the shoulder away from the ear. Trudy, shoulder away from the ear, yes. When you're ready, think about opposite arm to leg. You're lifting one heel, your thumb is lifted, and you are just breathing subconsciously. Feel that your sitting bones are equal. You're not allowing your pelvis to move. Come look at opposite arm to leg then. And only if it feels right for you, could you start to take your arm a little further back behind you. But remember, if you've got an issue with your shoulders, your arms can be lower down. You're trying to get the heel to lift, and now you're getting the weight all the way through that ball of the foot, right from your little toe into your big toe. You're not allowing the weight to roll into your little toe. One more time, and recover. Arms across the chest, lengthen out your spine. Just visualise you draw your belly button in a little tiny bit. Folks, you're going to rotate your ribs a little bit I'd like you to keep looking at me. Sorry about that, but keep looking at me. Okay. Margaret, Joan, if you're watching this, you know that you keep a small range of movement on this. You're going to just be moving the ribs a little bit. Everybody else, if you know you have osteoporosis in your spine, I want you to keep the movement small. If you've got stenosis, spondylolisthesis, or quite a few of you guys find rotational work difficult, I want you to do it, but keep the movement smaller, yes? Those of you who can, let's make it a little bit bigger. So say, Ros, I know we're always cautious with your shoulders, but you're fabulous at rotating. So some of you will be much better able with this because of injuries. Can you do one more right and one more left? Do you need to take a rest? Some of you might be needing to take that little pit stop and come back, recover. Let's have hands on the thighs. Draw the belly button into the spine so you're rounding your spine. Have a rest. And then come back up in a straight line. Remember, if you get really tired, this is the position that you can use. I call this man on a toilet position, but you can do this anytime you need to rest. Don't wait for me. Walking back up. Okay, could we transfer that? Those of you who can, you're going to come up into standing. If you don't want to stand, stay sitting. Little march through. Spine stays tall. Move through the feet. Now bring the feet a fraction closer to the chair. Use another chair in front if you need some help. Push into your heels. Folks, I want you to feel you going up, not down. So you're pushing into the heels, and then if you're ready, you're going to push up and lift. You can use your hands as I did. As you walk to the back of the chair, you walk around the back of the chair, hands on the chair. So I'm going to come sideways. Let's repeat the movement that we've just done. Little connection. Lift one heel, place it back down. Lift the opposite heel, place it back down. So as you're lifting one heel at a time, is your knee going in line with your second toe? Are you able to do that and keep the pelvis still? Folks, if you feel good, keep going for me. You know the score with this. If you feel good, could you do it with one hand off the chair? If you feel fabulous, every now and again, just shake hands. So you're swapping hands. You're trying to keep the pelvis still. For those of you who feel really good, you're going to leave go of the chair. But you only leave go of the chair if you feel comfortable with it. You are looking directly forwards, crown of the head up to the ceiling, and relax. So shake out the legs. Folks, those of you who've been coming for a while, we do a lot of repetitions. If you've not been coming for so long, maybe don't do as many of them and keep having a rest. Have a sit down if you need to. I'd like you to now step to the right side of your chair, doesn't really matter which way, and let that arm float. So we bring it down by the side. So we did this exercise in the chair. Could you start to bring the arm back? Now, I don't know if you can see that my ribs are rotating. So my ribs are rotating and my pelvis is moving. But my pelvis is only moving after I've moved my ribs. Yes? Okay, some of you need to be a little bit cautious with this one. Rita, you need to be cautious with this one. Beatrice, you need to be cautious with this one. Anybody with osteoporosis? This is as much as I want you to do for now. But if you can, start to rotate and look at that thumb. So you can allow your pelvis to move, but try and get the movement from the rib cage. Okie dokie. Those of you who feel comfortable, leave go of the chair. You do not have to. So remember, you don't have to turn the head. Any issues with the neck, any dizziness. If you've got osteoporosis, I would be cautious with that. If you're feeling it in your back, just keep the movement in the arm and do one more for me. Let it rest. Both hands on the chair. Folks, you put both hands on your chair whilst I'm here. You're going to lift both legs this time. So we're going to lift up and take it back down. Go again. Team, I'm really aware that some of us in the chair-based have got problems with feet and can't lift up. You do the best you can. You might just do a little rock forwards and that's enough for me. If you can come up onto your toes, can I ask you to come up for me? You're not coming forwards into your chair, you're going up. Feel as if you're spreading the toes out and you're going up equally from the little toe to the big toe. One more time. We'll come back to that in a second. Would you take your time now and just step to the left side of the chair? So your arm is going forwards and your back. You're just looking forwards, team. I don't always have to watch me. You've done it on one side. So you allow the body to rotate. Troops, your knees are straight, but they are not locked out. So particularly if you've got arthritis in your knees, just check that you're taking the lock off your knees for me. Your pelvis is allowed to move, but I want you to get the movement from the ribs first and allow the pelvis to move. Remember, if it's hurting your back, you stay here. Osteoporosis, I would want you to stay here just for now. Any other spinal conditions, if it feels good, do it. If it doesn't, keep it smaller. Could we start to look towards the hand? So we're rotating the body, allowing your pelvis to move, but don't encourage it. I want you guys to breathe normally. So you're breathing normally. Do that again, and only if you feel comfortable on the next couple, leave go of the chair. But you do not have to. Come back to centre one more time. Open and come back. Hands on the chair. Folks, you stay there and I'm going to change position. So the hands are on the chair. Remember the calf raise. Hands on the chair, lifting straight up and down. Lovely. You keep going. So you're going straight up and you're coming straight down. So remember, some of you are just going to do a little lift. Any movement is better than no movement, yes? Those of you who feel confident today, and remember we might be different from one day to the next, could you leave go with the hand, one hand? Do a couple of repetitions and then leave go with the opposite hand. And if you're feeling fabulous, could you let go? So everybody's good at some things. It might be you've got really poorly shoulders, keep going. You can't use your arms as much, but you might be great through this exercise. Do 2 more. Your balance might be great. If it's not, use the chair, let it go. Would you give me a little bit of a march through? So hands are on the chair, you're giving me a little bit of a march through. Could you use one arm? You're landing lightly, you're using one arm. Could you use the opposite arm? And if you're feeling really good, let the arms go with you. Don't worry too much about what they're doing, but try and get opposite arm to leg if you can. You've got another few seconds in this position, and then let your arms come back onto the chair and let it release. Folks, I want you to now turn sideways, so you'll be like this. Now you might have to turn the chair around, be cautious as you move it, or you can use the wall. So you're holding on to the chair. Your outside leg, and that's important, is going to move first. Step forwards, come back and step back. Do that in your own time. Step forwards and step back. So as you're doing this in your own time, just step forwards, step back. So the leg that's on the floor, the foot will be moving. If it bothers your knee, make your step smaller. Your decision. Could you leave go of the chair? You do not have to. Keep going. Now for some of my folk, I might have it like this. So Pauline, you might be using those 2 chairs. Bev, you might be using those 2 chairs. If you don't need the chairs, I'm going to give you my Peter trick. He does this with his arms, so he can catch the chair if he needs to. Could you do one more? Stepping forwards, stepping back, and recover. Add a little march through for me, please, if you would. Little march. I want you to turn to face your chair. Yes? And then you're going to turn to face the other side. So I'm going to swap chairs so I can use my opposite leg. You don't need to see me, I don't need to be turning your head, have a listen. Hand on the chair, hand by your side, your outside leg is going to step forwards and step backwards. Now in class we use an uneven surface, so we're stepping on and off the mat, but at home you might be on the same surface. If you feel comfortable, could you take the steps a little bit wider? Pelvis is still in a straight line as it comes forwards and back. Could you leave go of the chair? You really don't have to. It's not important that you do for now. You could use the Peter trick and do it this way. So as you're moving, we're balance. So we're working on balancing. We're working on building up the bone density in the hip, protection against osteoporosis, or helping us to increase our bone density if we've got it. We are using our core muscles, and we're also working on our gait, our movement through the foot. Hand back onto the chair. Little bit of a march through for me, please, then make the march smaller. Team, would you march and keep watching me? I'm going to take myself to the front of the chair. You always, it comes in very handy if you drunk this, you always feel the back of the chair on the legs before you sit back into it. Okay, come around to the front of the chair for me. Feel the chair at the back of your legs and then sit down into it. Okay, watch me. When I lean forwards, I'm leaning, trying to lean with a straight back rather than rounded. Now because I'm a shorty, I'm going to put my feet on the block and I'm going to come right into the back of the chair. You with me? If you've got longer legs, you don't need that. Okay. So you are rotating slightly to get your band. So your band is rested on your thighs. Folks, I'm doing this in the back of the chair because I like your spine to have a rest. Check your band. You can do this without your band. We checked the band earlier. You've got an inch space between each hand. Elbows in. Now if you're tired, sit back. But could you lift up for me? Elbows in. Check your wrists are in line with your elbows. Now you're pulling the band apart. You know this. You're going to take a breath out as you pull the band apart. Breathe in as you release. Breathe out as you pull the band apart. Breathe in as you release. Now as you're doing this, try and relax the shoulders and the neck. Smile when you're doing it. Can you keep your fists in line with your elbows? Breathe out. Can you do one more? If you're saying no, it's absolutely fine. Pull, now hold. We hold, we breathe. We rest if we need to, and then we recover and relax. How did that feel? All right. What do you do if you feel it's too hard? Make your band longer, yes? I know what you're saying to me, and if it's too easy, make it shorter. Yes, if it's too easy, make it shorter. Could you now take your band out of the way, walk your bottom forwards. Now I don't need that block now. If you do, keep it. Let's do your second set. Chest lifted, elbows in. Pull the band apart on the out breath. Breathe in. Now remember, if you get confused with your breathing, confuzzled I call it, if you get confuzzled with your breathing, as long as you breathe, I don't mind. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. Pull apart, take a breath out, breathe in. Okay, stay with this if you need to. Yep. Could you now pull apart and pull your shoulder blades back? Release and let it go. You keep going. I'm going to show you sideways on. So you pull apart, yes. Now you pull your elbows. Try and get the shoulder blades back and release. Could we do another two? Remember, rest if you need to. You're breathing normally now. Try and get the top of your shoulder blades back. Peter, if you're watching this, remember I'm nagging you. Let it go. Top of the shoulder blades back. Pull apart. Draw the top of the shoulder blades back. Breathe and hold. and release and let it go. I said 2 more and I lied. Pull apart, rest if you need to. This is your hold. You rest if you need to. You make sure you're not holding your breath. You breathe in, rest if you want. Otherwise, we're going to do another second. Let it go. Plummet, that was hard work. Folks, I like to do 3 sets on the strength, but I want to have a change of muscle groups. So could you take your band, turn yourself around, place it on the chair, come back into the centre, hands relaxed. Folks, you can sit into the back of the chair if you're a bit tired. Watch me first. Sorry, this is not going to be very attractive. I'm going to nod my chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Got 2 double chins or 16. And let it go. Watch me again. I'm going to look at you, you're looking at me. I'm looking forwards and I'm pulling my chin back. And he's being very naughty at the back of the camera. I'm pulling the chin back and I'm lengthening the crown of my head. Yes? And let it go. Do it again. Okay. I don't know, Lillian, if you're watching. Remember, I'm always getting you to think about this one. Release. Jean, I don't know if you're watching. I'm doing it, not just watching. This is one that you're doing at home. And release. Marilyn, this is one of yours as well. Back of the neck gets longer. Do I look lovely? And let it go. Okay. Arms back across the chest. Relax the jaw. Slightly nod the chin. Turn your head to the right. Come back to the centre. Slightly nod the chin. Turn your head to the left. Come back to the centre. Do it again. Slight chin nod. Turn your head. Look down your nose at your shoulder. Come back to centre, please. Slight chin nod. Take your time. Go as far as feels comfortable for you. Come back to the centre. Could you do the rotation and the head? But let's just start like this. Hands on your thighs. Hand to hand, rotate your head and your spine. Come back. Don't forget your ribs. Joan, don't forget your ribs. You're moving with your ribs. Turn your head and come back. Now, those of you with advanced osteoporosis, you might want to just stay with this. Yes? Gives you any discomfort in your spine, you're staying with this. If you feel comfortable with it, we're going to do this. Lift your chest though, grow tall, rotate your ribs, let your head go with you just to the side of the room, come back to the centre. Folks, if you've got osteoporosis, I don't want you to do any more than this. Now, I know some of you have got bad backs, and this is a really good exercise, but Rita, Beatrice, this is not great for you, so you keep your range of movement small. Now, those of you who can do, you're going to go further around. Tummy stays drawn in slightly. See if you can go further around and come back. Last time. Head goes with you and back to the centre. Arms let go. Let's do a little bit of a pit stop. Belly button towards the back of the chair. Look at your knees. Hold it there. If you really feel you need to, this position. Okay, we've got one more exercise to do for this section. You're going to turn yourself around, get your band. Let yourself go into the back of the chair if you need to. Have a rest, but otherwise, lean. Ross, you might have to get somebody to help you. Press it behind you. I'm going to come and show you. Some of you need to have the band here. So some of you need to have the band here. If you can, I want the band here. So those of you who've got quite a big curve in that upper back, remember I get you to put it around your waist. You've got the dangly bits here, so the thumb's on top. So it's a light grip, so you're not having to clench your fists. Look forwards for me, feet flat. One arm, little push and back, little push and back, little push. So what we've done for this little section is we've done a pulling action, which the exercise we did with the band. This is now a pushing action. So we've done some pulling, we've done some pushing, we've done some balance, we've done some strength work, we've done some mobility, we've done some core work. Look at your wrists. Can you keep your wrists in a straight line? Could you go further? If the answer's no, don't worry. Watch you not rounding for me. Come on, you're lifting up tall. Those of you feel okay, could you do both arms? You do not have to. Come on, are your shoulders down? Is your neck relaxed? And rest. That's your first set. Take the band. You can keep it around this if you wish. Let it rest on your thighs or very attractively tie it here. So we have got hands on the knees, round your spine. But try and move from the lower back. Come back up into centre and recover. So would you take your feet a little closer to the chair, hands here or here, wherever you like them as long as it's legal. Lift your heels. Let your heels come up and down. Have you got your knees in line with your hips, lifting and down, lifting and down. So this is a great strength, mobility. Okay, it's nowhere near as good as when we were standing, but if you've got 2 minutes, if you've got 20 seconds, you could do this. Let it rest. Further forwards, okay. This is especially useful. Sandra, Beatrice, Jan, this is really useful for you. I want you to do this every day, but it's good for all of us. Lift your toes, let it go. Lift your toes. You can have a look. Try and get your toes all the way up to your shins. Once you've seen it, look forwards for me. If you're feeling tired, this is one that you can do sat into the back of the chair, lifting. Okay, do that again. So you're lifting your toes. Could you lift them, take them out, bring them in, up, like windshield wipers. So we're strengthening the front of the shin. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but I always really laugh because look at my shin muscles. It's called tibialis anterior. They look really good when I do this. Don't know if you can see it. You've got one more. See, my body might not be what it was, but my tibialis anterior is all right. Is yours? Last one. And let it go. Whoa, give it a little march. So a little march through. So ladies and gents, we're going to do one more set. One more set of the pressing exercise. So remember, some people round the waist, otherwise under the armpit. One arm forwards just a little bit. Okay, I'm happy for you to do this. And remember, when it comes back, you've got control as it comes back, as well as working forwards. So we're bone loading, strengthening the muscles underneath the chest, strengthening the muscles at the back of the arms. Okay, could you make it a bigger movement? Come on, shoulders away from the ears, back nice and straight. You're staying tall, and if you feel really good, could you do both arms together and back, together and back, together. Now if you feel really good, push them together, pull them apart. Breathe out, breath in. So some of you are doing small, keep going. Some of you are doing bigger, keep going. Some of you are doing double arms. Some of you are doing the push and just wide. Could we do one more? Come on, one more. Make sure you finished off right and left if you're doing single, and let it go. Allow the band to come from around. Rotate, put it on the back. If you need anything for underneath your feet, you walk your bottom back. Okay, team, we have done a short block and we'll be aiming to send you different short blocks that will be working on different things. You've done some bone loading, you've done a little bit of circulation work, you've done some strength, and you've done some balance, so you can tick those off your list. Let's just do a little bit of breathing work. Now we're doing this for the lungs, and remember, particularly those of you who've got osteoporosis, we might find that we're in this posture, which means that our lungs don't function as well. So arms are here. Now I'm going to ask you to close your eyes if you want to. You do not have to. Relax the jaw. No laughing at me. Folks, I would like you to consciously relax your hands and consciously relax the muscles in the face. Only you would know this, but the jaw's relaxed and the lips are very slightly parted. I would like you to consciously breathe in through the nostrils and consciously breathe out through the mouth. Ladies and gents, we are all different. So I want you to take the breath in through the nostrils in your own rhythm, and you breathe out through the mouth, your own rhythm, your own time. And as you breathe out through the mouth, imagine you blowing out through a little straw. We're breathing in to the ribs. Feel as if you're trying to breathe into the side of your rib cage. Feel as if you're filling the ribs, a little bit like bellows. As you breathe in, the bellows expand, and as you breathe out, they collapse. If it makes you dizzy, just breathe. Folks, you are breathing in and out in your own rhythm, your own time. This is not the right way to breathe, it's just one way. But we're trying to lengthen the spine, keep resting if you need to. And we're trying to breathe laterally, as if you're breathing into your armpits. And when you breathe out, visualize you breathing out through a little straw, as if you're trying to keep a little white feather blowing in midair. Allow your breathing just to return to subconscious. Open eyes if eyes are closed. Thank you so much. And that breathing technique, if you've got some nice music, you could put some music on in the background and just do a couple of more seconds or a minute or so of that breathing pattern, particularly if you're getting a bit stressed or going stir crazy. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you soon. Remember 01457 858 555. The phone's not manned all the time, but if you need any help, if you need a prescription picking up or you just want to chat, please leave us a message and we promise we'll get back to you. Speak to you soon. Bye everybody.